Hello, students. I am Vishwajeet before you, and I have come with a very different topic, altogether a different topic, that is memorizing tricks. And memorizing tricks involve one very simple trick that has been suggested by a person who is known for his strong memory. I will tell about all those things, and we have given a title this as pressing the save button. Right? This factor, this pressing the save button, you might be thinking, what is so, special about this pressing the save button? Every day we are working on a computer, we are working on save button. What is so special about pressing the save button that we are saying? Okay. What basically do we want to say? That everybody wants a very good memory. Everybody wants a very good memory. But randomly, if I ask you, what is the thing that you ate 5 days back or on last Friday, what you had? Unless and until you are having something very significant, something very different, or something in a party, or something enjoying anywhere, you do not remember it. But look here. There is a couple of a statement that I have chosen especially. At least 33 people in the world. What is the date today? If I ask you, what is the date today? Today is, it is 5th February 2022. As on date, if somebody asks, at least 33 people in the world could tell you what they ate for breakfast, lunch and dinner on February 20, 1998. Can you believe it? That people can have this much of memory that they can recall what they had done 24 years back, or who they talked to on October 28, 1986, almost around 50 years back. Pick any date and they can pull from their memory the most prosaic details of that thin slice of their personal history. There are some people who can do it. Those of you who are connected with computer software and programming and all those things, they might be knowing the name of John von Neumann. And especially it is famous Newman Architecture. In computer, the entire CPU unit and all those things combined in a combined fashion, it is known as Newman Architecture. It's known as Newman Architecture. Newman was a mathematician. He was a mathematician. He was a physicist. He had a chemistry degree. He was such a person that he remembered almost everything. And on the name of Newman, he possessed near total recall. If you have a computer, if you have put some data into computer, whenever you want to retrieve those data, you can retrieve it if it is in your hard disk. Like this, in the same way, Newman was having such a great memory that he could recall each and everything, whatever he thought of. And it is the suggestion of Newman that you should always be pressing the save button. I'll tell you a very small story, because without story, the things will not be completed. There were two friends. On certain occasion, they got separated. One of them came to city, and the another was staying there in the village only. He was having all his buffaloes, cows, and all those things, and he was very happy with it. So after a couple of years, the friend who was staying in the city, he went back to the village to see his friend. The mother of that friend who was staying in the village told him that wait for a second, sit here. Your friend is coming from second floor taking his buffalo. He was astonished, he was surprised that who takes this buffalo and goes to second floor, and for milking those buffalo he takes it down to the ground floor and then takes it up. Are you getting my point? Have you ever seen anybody taking the buffalo from first floor or second floor to the ground floor and taking them in their hands, on their arms, and then bringing them down and then milking that buffalo? No one does it. But when he did it, his friend asked, how are you doing it? This buffalo is too heavy, and how are you in a position to do it? Then he said, I am carrying this buffalo, or I am picking this buffalo when she was just 2 hours old. Because when it was 2 hours old, I was picking, it was small, and I was in a position to pick her up because it was very weak. It was very weak, so I started picking it up. And every day I had to pick it up to take it to first floor, and then I have to come to ground floor again, picking up. So I kept on doing it 2-3 times in a day. And for past 1 year I am doing. I did not know when this calf turned into a buffalo. So if you are seeing me that I am carrying a buffalo, basically I am carrying that calf only. Look, gentlemen, this is what is all about pressing the save button. When you are doing it every day, when you are doing it regularly, when you are pressing the save button after one time of the another, what basically John Newman said about pressing the save button, and you can experiment it. There are a lot of people in this world, in your country, maybe in and around you, and maybe whenever you will be taking your CAT examination or all those things, you need to memorize the entire dictionary, and there are a lot of people who have done it. What he suggested, suppose you have 10 information. How can you press the save button? This is very important. What basically is pressing the save button? Let me first explain you. Pressing the save button, when in terms of memorizing the things, you feed a data in your mind. You feed a data in your mind. Data means information. Suppose you are studying chemistry and a particular chapter. I am a chemistry teacher, that's why I am talking about chemistry. Suppose you are reading a particular chapter, and you make up your notes, and you have almost around 50 points that you have to remember. You have written everything point wise, and you want that you should remember the entire 50 points. That will be a great task. How have you to do this? Read first point. Try to remember it. Then read the second point. Close your eye for a minute. Now recall the first point as well as the second point. Come to the third point. Concentrate on the third point. Again, after finishing your third point, close your eyes. Recall first, recall second, and recall third. The pressure is mounting onto your head because you are pressing the save button. This is not a very physical process where you have a save button and you are pressing. It's a process when you are studying, and when you are studying, when you are trying to learn the things, the pressing of the save button will take place like this. You will find your concentration level, and I'll suggest you read at a stretch not more than 10 minutes. Don't go reading for 2 hours or 3 hours like that. You do this effective reading for just 10 minutes. By doing this, pressing the save button, pick up one information, try to memorize, try to relate it to something. Read the second statement, try to relate it to something. Then recall the first one, the second one. And when you are reading the fifth or sixth statement, recall the first, second, third, fourth, and fifth, sixth statement. And within 10 minutes, you will maximum, recall 10 statements, and your job will be over. By the time you close your book, recall all those 10 information that you have read, and then you will be richer as far your information is concerned, and you have pressed the save button. Did you get my point? What I am trying to say? You will begin with smaller things. 1, 2, 4, 8, 16, 32, 64. It will grow like this. But then you'll have to practice it. It won't come readily. You will have to practice it in the same manner as that person was carrying the buffalo every day, 3 times in a day. You will find that you have memorized such a great volume of things that no one can imagine. Believe me, if you will develop the habit of pressing the save button, and this is the habit of all good speakers in the world who have memorized a lot of things. They have always worked on pressing the save button whenever they are reading and whenever they are doing effective reading. Thank you very much. I hope